think if you get it wrong, which rolls unknown again, then it can be quite painful.
Then you always get one or two wrong. That is the fact, and that's why they have to bring in so many, because they are going to get a couple wrong.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a 100% success rate. Some are going to settle, some are not going to settle. There's other circumstances that come with moving to the north, well, the sort of the East Ridings of Yorkshire. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for people to transplant their whole lives over here, so it does take a bit of time to settle. Interesting, today's gone with pretty much the team that got them promoted in the playoff final, apart from one or two additions. So, new goalkeeper. I know that you and I have spoken about him a lot.
He's an interesting story, actually, Zalakis, because he was in the Olympiacos team that knocked Fenerbahce out. I think it was the Conference League, wasn't it, when Olympiacos went on to win it. And obviously, Adjun was the former vice president of Fenerbahce, a big supporter, and he basically said, well, he knocked my team out of Europe, so I thought I'd go and sign him.
And why not, if you can do it, hey? Rub a bit of salt in the wound there. Let's talk about Manchester United then. Carlos Baleba is now through the door, as was rumoured, and you were, bringing that news throughout the week. The third midfield signing of the summer. If he comes in, who misses out? How does he set up? And when you look at the competitions that, Michael Carrick has to navigate this season, who is going to be the top, who are going to be the first choices, and who are going to be the ones who maybe play in the League Cup?
Well, I think you need two players for every position now, particularly if you're competing in the Champions League, as United are back at the top table of European football. Arsenal have done that really well over the past couple of seasons in terms of being able to rotate. I think that was a big part of their success last season. The odd one out at the moment probably seems to be Kobbie Mainoo, who played most of the pre-season games, but obviously doesn't get the nod today with Tielemans and Santos, the preferred partnership. They're not going to pay £70 million for Carlos Baleba to have him sit on the bench. So I think Kobbie's got a real battle for his place on his hands. I think the next priority...
It's a bit of a loose cop, though. In terms of in the setup, in terms of being favoured, for him to kick on in his career, what does he then need to do?
Well, the previous manager treated him appallingly, in my opinion. I don't think Thomas Tuchel treated him very well at the World Cup either, but I guess you could say, well, why did neither Ruben Amorim or Thomas Tuchel particularly fancy him? But he was a big part of United's success last season. That partnership with Casemiro, they took more points than anybody else in the second half of the season, and those two played pretty much week in, week out. I think there's a very talented player in there, but I think he needs to realise he's got competition now, Steve, and step his game up.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing now, you talk about three new midfield players, and then we'll talk about recruitment, don't we? And all of a sudden, I think Man U have recruited well over the last 12 months, 18 months. Whereas the previous decade, you look and go, not so sure of one player they've brought in where you think, well, he's been a Man United player. So, look, if you're going to succeed, you need players for every position, and you need two of them.
Yeah.
I think the strength and depth of Man U now is there for everybody.
Well, look at the bench, though. The bench looks a lot stronger than it did second half of last season. Jason Wilcox, actually, I just bumped into him in the corridor, looking pretty pleased with himself, having got that Baleba deal done. And when you look at some of the transfer fees that have been lavished this summer, we spoke about this on our programme yesterday, £85 million for Savinho has absolutely blown my mind.
Yeah.
United have been patient. I think £70 million for Carlos Baleba is a really good deal when you look at what Brighton were asking for this time last year.
All very cordial between you and Jason. I know you've had a little bit of a pop at him once or twice.
Tell us on there. Go on, Alex.
Exchange a polite hello.
That's all you can do, Alex. That's all you can do. What about defensively? And we did touch on this, didn't we, earlier on? That, in the Sir Alex years, there was a lot of refreshing, always kind of, just bringing in new talent just to keep that lineup, active and competitive. The back four that started the 4-0 loss at Brentford in Erik ten Hag's first season is pretty much sort of all of their senior defenders, and we see them still kind of, in and around that lineup. We're talking Shaw, Martinez, who's obviously not playing today, but Maguire, Dalot. These are the players that we've seen for the last few seasons, and that back four needs something, doesn't it? It needs a refresh.
Well, when you look at Man U, they must have 5 centre-halves on the books now. The one area I would be a little bit worried about is, will Luke Shaw have another season like he did last year, where in terms of he was available for selection? When I played under Sir Alex, the one people who never got a rest was me and Pally and the goalkeeper, Big Michael. He never rotated there, and where obviously, myself and Gary played for the best part of 9-10 years, Dennis Irwin for 10 years, Schmeichel for 8 years, 9 years. It was pretty settled. And he didn't make many changes there. He changed it everywhere else, for rotation, and he was one of the first to do it, if you can remember. it's always a difficult one, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a defender's added to before the window closes.
Does that sound likely?
Yeah, the left back has to be the priority, I think, because Luke Shaw, with the greatest will in the world, isn't going to be able to play week in, week out, and certainly not with the Champions League commitments as well. I think Lewis Hall remains the dream target, but that's going to be a very difficult deal to do in the final week of the window. There's talk of Rahm, the German left back who is at RB Leipzig and has a relatively small release clause, and then Bauder at Barcelona was mentioned yesterday. So I would expect United to sign a left back between now and September the 1st.
Any other bits of transfer news you can bring us, Alex, while we've got you?
Well, this Liverpool situation is interesting with Yankuba Minter, because I don't think at the start of the window we would have been their first choice, but 2 bids rejected. Brighton again determined to drive a hard bargain. Is he necessarily the Mo Salah replacement? I'm not sure you can really put him on that level when you look at his numbers, and I still think they're going to try and get Bradley Barker out of PSG between now and that deadline.
What's delaying that? Because that's been in the offing for a few weeks now.
Well, I think there's still a pretty big gap in valuation. You know, at the start of the summer, PSG were asking for £145 million. I think it's now come down to 125, which would equal the Premier League record transfer. And I think Liverpool see him nearer the £110 million mark. So there's negotiations to be done.
Alex, brilliant to have you with us. Are you all right to leave us normal people and go back to the big guns?
It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
It is.
Chuck us the prawn sandwich, will you?
He couldn't wait to tell us he's been invited by the owner, not just, the secretary of the club, the owner. This is because every time I listen to you're blowing smoke up his backside on that radio. I have to say.
Tell us what you really mean.
I hope he loses today, by the way.
Because your loyalties are so divided in that sense, because obviously you're a boy Man United fan, but of course you've got a great relationship with the owner as well.
I'd take a nice 2-0 away win.
Yeah?
Everybody would be happy with that, I think.
Would they? Apart from your mate, Ilikali. Thank you very much, Alex. Brilliant to see you as always. And Alex, of course, will be keeping you up to date with all things transfer related right up until that window closes. That is Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent, who joined us here on Game Day Exclusive. Well, this is Game Day Exclusive on Sky Sports. We're building up to our 12:30 kickoff. Not long to go now. Hull City against Manchester United. You can hear the music pumping, the atmosphere really building here now in the stadium. Pretty much full as we gear for kickoff. This is Game Day Exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that with now you can stream the Sky Sports app completely in minutes, like Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur live today. It's streamed via internet. Time to play.
Game Day Exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with now. Like Brentford versus Spurs live today. 18 plus, stream via internet. Terms apply.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Samo Farah is learning the ropes.
So, no. With Click and Collect, we get orders ready fast. So customers are out of here and back to their jobs in as little as 1 minute. What are you doing?
Lunches. It's my warm-up. I need to be in peak condition for when orders come in.
Love that intensity, Mo. Laser focused. You might even have what it takes to beat my PB one day.
Back in a mo.
Click and collect in as little as 1 minute. Screwfix. No stopping you.
Big Arch just got bacon. More smokiness, more crispiness, more deliciousness. With juicy beef, cheddar cheese and the Big Arch sauce. Now topped with crispy bacon. The Big Arch just got bacon.
So 28th of September 2026, served from 11 a.m. subject to availability.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With expert opinion and tactical analysis, you get it all with goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League, EPL and cup competitions, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every match week on Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Wednesday, only in the Sun.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rules, inspiration and expertise, where you can base in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You just imagine a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fans-only stadium-style seating. Amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there. She tackles the burger stack. Rana going down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. Who's that? His favourite ice cold beer. What a result.
Catch every game live in the pub and grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
So it's after review. Tattooed here on your back.
Yeah, they don't call us VA Arsenal for nothing.
It's a clear and obvious error if you ask me, but okay, amazing.
Football can make you do some questionable things. Thankfully, claiming a free bet builder every weekend at the start of the Premier League season isn't one of them. 5 weeks, 5 free bets. Why the football not? Paddy Power. Pre-match online bet builders only. Win 3 legs plus. Max free bet varies from 50p to £50 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambling.org.
Game day exclusive on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Look now at enterprise.co.uk.
Talk Sport, traffic and travel with Subway. Check out our great range of Sabre subs, including the Triple Cheese Toasty, BLT, Ham and Cheese Toasty, and Nacho Chicken. It's a winning lineup.
Time 8:30 at Mitchell in Cornwall is blocked by a 2-vehicle collision, and further west also closure of Camborne after a car overturn. Eastbound M20 in Kent still shut from Leybourne to Aylesford, junction 4 to 5, investigating an earlier accident. Northbound M6 Lancashire, there's obstruction just after the Broughton M55 Blackpool turn, junction 32. And Middlesbrough, the A66 blocked by an accident between Easton Road and the Asda Lights, and still a southbound closure of the A1M in County Durham, junction 61 to 60.
Award-winning live football commentary. Game day exclusive. Talk Sport.
Shouts from the away end for Bruno Fernandes, his 21st assist of this Premier League season, a new record in a single campaign.
He's been in all the big moments, he's had his fingerprints on it, and his level of consistency for so long. Oh, I have to say, he's been the outstanding player for Man U for the last 4 or 5 years. Absolutely, his times he's carried this club along, which is a big weight on your shoulders.
It's a huge honour, a huge privilege. I think a very proud moment for myself. There's certain players that are irreplaceable at football clubs. I think one just left Manchester City, but in Bruno Fernandes, I think he is irreplaceable at Manchester United.
Bruno Fernandes has been the player that's created the most chances in the Premier League in 5 of the last 6 seasons.
Here's Fernandes escaping down the right though. Chelsea with 10 players into the centre. He goes and it's fired into the net by Cunha, and it's 1-0.
Man United need him. They're going to need him over the next couple of years.
I know that we haven't won the league for so many years. Our DNA is still here, is still with our fans, and we always have to have it in mind and always go to the games to win it.
Yeah, no surprise. Bruno Fernandes, of course, the captain, broke the Premier League record last season for assists, didn't he? 21 he managed to knock up by the end of that campaign. That Manchester United, Steve Bruce, want to be less dependent on him for attacking output this season. When a player like that in your ranks, is that the right strategy?
Well, you'd like somebody else to give him a hand. I mean, we've relied on them so heavily over the last 4 or 5 years. It's been quite ridiculous, the numbers he's hit constantly in a team up until last year. Late on has struggled a bit, so he's been a magnificent signing over the years. There's been a lot of debate of whether he's captain material and this, that and the other, but for me he's been the outstanding player of Man United for the last 4 or 5 years, because that's the sort of level that other people have got to get to, and if people could join him and help him in that respect and score a goal or make an assist, then it can only be good for Man U.
Yeah, absolutely. How far are Manchester United from that sort of promised land of where they really want to be at the moment?
Well, I think I've been quietly impressed with the 3 lads they brought in the midfield. I'd still like them to do 1 or 2 other bits, pieces. They're a lot stronger squad, looking at them on paper anyway now, than they were 12 months ago. The signings have been good in the last 12 months, so things are looking forward. They're looking well.
They're looking well. Quick prediction today. I know you've got the heart in both hands.
It's not going to be easy, I wouldn't have thought, as you can see the atmosphere and feel the atmosphere. But I cannot see United losing.
Okay, that's from Steve Bruce. Do you know what? The atmosphere, as Steve Riley said, is absolutely fantastic here. We had a Republica ready to go, shouting from the rooftops as the lyrics go, and the fans were definitely doing that, because after a decade away from the top flight, almost 3 months to the day since securing their place in the Premier League, Hull City are back and they are ready to pounce if the atmosphere at the MKM is anything to go by. The playoff winners take on the 20-time Premier League champions in a fixture they haven't won in their last 10 attempts. And to the injury woes and the fact that Manchester United have never lost in the top flight when facing a newly promoted team in their first game of the season, the pressure will definitely be on for Hull City. But can they make it a return to remember? Well, the fans are certainly hoping so, waving their flags. The atmosphere is raucous, absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to this one, your first game day Saturday of the new Premier League season. Let's find out how this one goes in the company of United legend and Hull City boss Steve Bruce, alongside TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matthews. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Redman. Yeah, it's a special one. The MKM Stadium in Hull, where the Premier League returns. Yes, the Premier League is back, and it's back here on the banks of the Humber for the first time in 9 years. Another season of drama, delight, tension and fright. And according to Toon an explosion here and there. The man who owns Hull City doesn't really do quiet confidence. His words this summer: think about us like a volcano. It's boiling right now and it's going to erupt. Maybe not today, he told us, but they are rumbling. Well, the only thing explosive about Manchester United since Michael Carrick took over has been their points tally. The quiet one lets the football make the noise. Alongside me, a man who's stood on both sides of the divide here. Only 3 managers have ever taken Hull City into the Premier League: Phil Brown and now Sergei Yakirovich, and Steve Bruce, who did it twice. He captained Manchester United to the double as well. Steve, you know what this ground sounds like when it's full and it believes. I mean, it's very noisy today. What's coming Manchester United's way in the first 20?
Well, it's Man United coming to town has created all this, of course, and of course the Premier League. I mean, look, I'm delighted on a personal point of view that Hull have got back into the Premier League. It's when you look at the facility of the stadium here and all the rest of it, then it's equipped to do it. It's going to be very, very difficult for them. Of course it is. Given they're playing against Manchester United today, but can they go and stay in the Premier League? We'll know a little bit more than 90.
Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
Until the end of the season, and the former United midfielder, he gives debuts to 2 players today in a new-look United midfield, as Andre Santos signed from Chelsea and Youri Tielemans from Villa, joining captain Bruno Fernandes in the middle. In goal then for United, it's the Belgian international Senna Lamens, with a back four this of Nusser Mazraoui at right back. Harry Maguire is joined by 19-year-old Aidan Heaven at centre half, with Luke Shaw at left back. As I mentioned, that midfield, Andre Santos, Youri Tielemans and Bruno Fernandes, with a dangerous looking front three of Patrick Dorgu, Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. No Amad Diallo, with Carrick saying in the build-up this one that the Ivorian international suffered an injury towards the end of the week. Our referee for this lunchtime kickoff on the East Yorkshire coast is Darren England, and he blows his whistle as Manchester United, in their change strip of white and dark red with black shorts and white short socks, get us going, kicking right to left. Hull, of course, in their famous amber and gold stripes, a very traditional looking kit for Hull today, with the white collar on the shirt, white shorts and black and amber socks. So as I say, I'm Mark Strange, delighted to have you alongside me here for the first Premier League Saturday of the season. Harry Maguire sends a pass out on the left for Luke Shaw, and immediately Dorgu tries to get past Sammy, and there's an offside against the Danish international anyway, so free kick it will be to Hull, who became the first side in 16 attempts to finish in 6th place, the last place in the Championship playoffs, to get promoted despite all the noise around the of course the Southampton Spygate scandal. It was originally supposed to be Hull against the Saints, but the week of the final, Southampton of course were kicked out of the final for that spying scandal, with Tonda Eckert and some of his coaches spying on opponents, not just in the semi-final against Middlesbrough, throughout the season. There's a hooked ball across the middle by Mbeumo, plucked out the sky by Konstantinos Soulakis, and what a quality pair of gloves between the sticks this season for Hull. They've also signed Jack Butland the former England international from Rangers, but he's missing today. An injury list already for Sergei Yakirovich, sorry. As Louis Coyle is fouled. One would imagine Soulakis was the number one choice in between the sticks anyway. Dylan Phillips, who was able deputy to Ivor Pandur, who went the other way to Jack Butland. He joined Rangers this summer. Dylan Phillips on the bench today, as is the Canadian international Liam Miller. New signings Jens Hjertodal, the young Norwegian midfielder signed from Tromsø, who they drew with Brighton in the Conference League playoffs on Thursday evening. Also potentially making a debut off the bench is the 18-year-old Australian international Lucas Harrington, who really caught the eye at this summer's World Cup despite the unfortunate note of missing the penalty that saw the Socceroos knocked out at the round of 32 stage. He joined from Colorado Rapids. Matt Targett joined from Newcastle on the bench as Soulakis gets away. Targett was actually on the other side of the playoff final last season, having spent the year on loan at Middlesbrough. He's now on the bench today, as is Lucas Gournadua, signed from Le Havre, the former Roma midfielder. They're among the subs today for Hull. For United, well, a fairly quiet summer window. I mentioned Andre Santos and Yuri Tielemans, with Tielemans on the ball now. Well, the only real major signings is now a ball over the top there for Fernandez. Ajayi and Egan come across. Both of them sort of collide with each other, but it'll run through for Soulakis. Oh, in dark green, the Hull City goalkeeper, and he slides at the feet of Bruno Fernandes to get to that one. There's a ball over the top there by Yuri Tielemans. Bruno Fernandes just onside. Semi Ajayi did really well to come across and block his path, and then the Irish international John Egan tried to clear it, ended up just slamming it against Ajayi. Could have gone anywhere but into his goalkeeper's hands. Egan has also played in the Premier League with Sheffield United. Semi Ajayi was in the top flight with West Brom, so good to have that Premier League experience at the back for Sergei Yakirovich, with a debutant himself today. The Manchester United bench, Carl Darlow has come in from Leeds, certainly be an able backup to Senna Lamans, with Andre Onana still technically a Manchester United player, but now back for another year on loan with Trabzonspor, now a teammate of Mohamed Salah, and of course in Turkey. And speaking of Turkey, Altay Bayındır also out on loan as Hull come on the attack. Here's Mohamed Baloumi, the Algerian, on the right hand side, faced up by Dorgu, but coming around the attack is Louis Coyle, gets across in. McBurney's up there, good header away by Mazraoui. McBurney and Mazraoui collided there, that has left the Moroccan fullback on the ground there. He's okay, he's back to his feet, but that's good attacking play there from Hull City. Good defence from Manchester United. Deep cross to the back post. Really good defending from Mazraoui, facing his own goal. He was just able to get up and glance it behind, or glance it away I should say. And United clear the danger with they've got a throw in now, but Egan will go back to Soulakis on the edge of his penalty area, and he clips that one out right, looking for Coyle, but picked off by Shaw. There's Matt Crooks, a former Borough man. Shaw keeps it in. Good strong challenge there from Baloumi on Dorgu. So Hull certainly opening 5 minutes here, getting plenty of energy, plenty of physicality to their game. There's one played forward there by Ajayi, one for Stroud to chase, but that will run out of play for a goal kick. Stroud was part of a bit of a fairy tale run himself. Mjällby winning the Swedish top division last season, but after a good summer at the World Cup, he has made the move to the Premier League. So goal kick to be taken here. Aidan Heaven gets it back off of Senna Lamans, all in bright green, the Manchester United goalkeeper. What a signing he was from Royal Antwerp after a few years after David De Gea's departure of questionable goalkeeping at Old Trafford. Lamans came in and was a real safe pair of hands for United, as Tielemans wins that one in midfield. Burmo back to Tielemans. McBurney snapping around at his ankles there, as he so often does. Tielemans squeezed out by about 4 Hull players there, and fouled by one of them, says Darren England. So free kick to Manchester United in the middle of the park, and I think probably Tielemans glad to see it. One, I think it was Matt Crooks who eventually was the man who brought the Belgian international to ground. Here's Aidan Heaven. Arsenal Academy graduate who played 17 times for Manchester United. Started 7 of those games in the Premier League last season. And despite having Lisandro Martinez and Lenny Yoro on the bench today, it's the 19-year-old who gets a start alongside Harry Maguire. And Burmo now on the right-hand side for Manchester United. That full bench for United, by the way, as they go back to Maguire on halfway. Carl Darlow, Diogo Dalot, Lisandro Martinez, Marcus Rashford on the bench after spending last season on loan at Barcelona. He's back. Michael Carrick has said he is very much part of the squad, a quality operator, of course. And, actually, the last time Manchester United played here in the Premier League back in August of 2016, an 18-year-old Marcus Rashford scored the only goal of the game, a stoppage time winner that day, a 1-0 win for United here on Humberside. And Burmo flicks up and on for Cunha, took out of play there by Noble Mendy, signed from Rayo Vallecano in the summer. Rest that United bench, Joshua Zirkzee on the bench despite heavy links for him leaving potentially to Juventus. Lenny Yoro, Benjamin Sesko, Shea Lacey, 19-year-old forward, and Kobe Mainu after his summer of largely watching the World Cup from the bench, as John Egan hooks that one high into the sky and Burmo brings it down by Mazraoui. Maguire midway inside the Hull City half, goes back to Heaven, who's in the centre circle. Fernandes has Crooks snapping at him, and Hull have won it back here. And ooh, was there a foul there? There was, says Darren England. In fact, no. Well, both Harry Maguire and I think that is Regan Slater have both ended up on the ground there after that challenge, and both are looking for the foul, and Darren England decided no foul either way. So here comes Mazraoui down the right hand side, finds Cunha. Cunha cuts it back, deflected off Mendy. Egan gets it away with Dorgu lurking, and there's a foul by Tielemans on McBurney just outside the Hull City penalty area, which will ease the pressure on the Tigers. 9 minutes gone here at the MKM Stadium. Hull City 0, Manchester United 0. And that was actually it was Elliot Stroud, in fact, and I think Harry Maguire's a very lucky boy there. He was sold a bit of a short pass and Stroud got in there ahead of him. I think it's Maguire that initiates contact there, but both ended up going to ground. No free kick either way, says Darren England. But it is a free kick now to Hull just outside their penalty area after the foul by Tielemans on McBurney, and Solakis sends that one along. McBurney wins the header above Heaven, but it will drop now for Andre Santos, the more Chelsea man, as Belumi tries to go past Shaw. Now it'll be Harry Maguire inside the penalty area to take it away for United. Mazraoui. And Burmo flicks that one nicely around the corner for Cunha, but it just gets away from the Brazilian forward, and that'll be a throw into Hull on the left hand side just inside their own half, and they'll go back here to John Egan. Semi Ajayi. And his captain Louis Coyle on the right hand side, right on the halfway line in front of his manager. And back inside to Egan. Ajayi now clips one forward. One for Coyle to chase down the right hand side. He's got the beating of Luke Shaw, but the ball has the beating of both of them to the byline. That's a good positive play there from Hull City. And Louis Coyle ended up sliding onto the artificial turf around the side of the pitch there, and feeling that one, but certainly full-blooded there from the Hull City captain, and he gets a low five from Luke Shaw on the way past there. We've now played just over 10 minutes here at the MKM Stadium. No real chances either way. Hull have probably the most dangerous attack in the opening 10 minutes. Mr. Mazraoui having to get up and glance the header away with under pressure from Ollie McBurney at the back post. And now Mazraoui tries to play one through for Dorgu. That could have been a nasty bounce for Coyle to deal with, but he does well. And now away come Hull with Stroud, but he loses control of that one. And now Andre Santos will go back to Aidan Heaven inside his own half. Manchester United with 2/3 of possession here, according to the stats in the opening 11 minutes, and they're certainly upping that percentage as we speak, with Heaven and Maguire just sort of roll that one back and forth between each other on the halfway line, where Heaven turns and looks forward. A left-footed pass finds Fernandes over the top, looking for Dorgu, but combination of Ajayi and Egan just squeeze him out, and it'll run through to Konstantinos Solakis, who just puts his studs on that one. A way of avoiding the 8-second rule now that, of course, the goalkeepers have once they pick up the ball to get rid of it. as he just plays a 1-2 with Ajayi. Egan now to Mendy. Back again to Soulakis. Egan again. So Hull just keeping possession at the back here. And back into Soulakis. And United will press forward to Fernandez, but it's cleared away. Noble Mendy, Senegalese defender, not part of their World Cup squad, but was part of the Rayo Vallecano team who got all the way to the UEFA Conference League final in May before falling to Crystal Palace. Here's Tielemans. Up to heaven. Right down the left-hand side for Luke Shaw. Then this space for Shaw. He plays the ball into the box. It's a dangerous one. Ooh, and Mendy let it run, and Mbeumo hits one off the bar and away. And Brian Mbeumo comes back out to him on the right-hand side now. That was so close for Mbeumo. Not sure if Soulakis got a touch on that one. Fernandez, and he just fizzed that one into Tielemans, and he couldn't control it out for a goal kick. We got another look at that one. I thought initially it hit the bar, but we'll maybe see again here. Maybe it was a save from Soulakis. Shaw's ball initially wasn't a great one, but Noble Mendy, I don't know if he gets a call from Egan, but he ducks at the last, sorry, from Ryan Giles, but he ducks at the last moment, and indeed it is a good save from Konstantinos Soulakis to bat away Brian Mbeumo's effort from a narrow angle. They had a miscommunication there at the back. That ball from Shaw, as they say, not really one of his finer deliveries. Luke Shaw sort of floated it up in the air, but it made it awkward for Noble Mendy. And Ryan Giles couldn't get to it before Mbeumo took a smart stop from the new £20 million goalkeeper Konstantinos Soulakis to keep it out. Here's Coyle now down the right for Hull as he tries to chip one forward for either Bellumi or McBurney, but they'll go out of play for a United throw-in on the left. And well, Luke Shaw had a spare ball there at the side of the pitch, but instead got the poor ball boy to hurdle over the advertising hoardings and give him the other ball. So getting the ball boy to do some work here now. Nusir Mazraoui's doing some work down the right hand side for United. He whips one in, lovely touch from Cunha, left footed shot saved by Soulakis. That was really neat though for Matthias Cunha. He brought it down with his right foot and then twisted his body to get the left footed shot away, but ultimately it was a low and fairly tame effort for Soulakis to save. But United starting to get up through the gears here. Matthias Cunha trying to find his ranges. Ajayi hammers that ball clear, flicked on well by Stride for McBurney, and now Giles is getting down the left hand side for Hull. So people inside the MKM Stadium getting on their feet, and comes across. McBurney wins a header, saved by Lamans, pushed away, and Mazraoui will keep it in, prevent the corner, and clear for United. Ollie McBurney, he's such a physical presence up there, the Scottish international, and that has really got these Hull City fans going. He got up ahead of Aidan Heaven for that one, and Senna Lamans had to be really alert to get down to his right to bat that one away. And first big save now for both goalkeepers at either end, as both of these sides certainly after really feeling each other out in the opening minutes now as we enter the, well, we've just played about a quarter of an hour here now in Humberside. Hull City 0, Manchester United 0, but a couple of big saves made. Now here's a long throw coming from Ryan Giles. It's really long, flicked on by Ajayi. Mendy's in there, headed away, and a bit of a bicycle kick away on the edge of his own box from Cunha. And Mbeumo and Stride will battle for that one. I think that one's come off Stride last. And it's going to be a Manchester United throw despite his protests to the opposite. Well, that will certainly please Sergei Yakirovic. I said United were starting to find their range, but that's certainly the biggest chance of the game for either side. Brilliant ball in from the left from Ryan Giles. And Ollie McBurney getting up above the United defence, powering a header down low. But Lamans had to get away. Here is Lamans now, ball at his feet in the edge of the penalty area. Clips one forward, left footed. Dorgun Ajayi contesting that one, and the last touch comes off the United man for a Hull City throw-in. 16 minutes gone here on the first Premier League Saturday of the season. You're listening to Hull City 0, Manchester United 0. With me, Mark Strange, delighted to have you along with me wherever you're listening in the world. It's a lunchtime kickoff on the East Yorkshire coast. As Crooks tries to hook one forward there. Mazraoui wins a header, but now it's won back here by Hull in the midfield by Slater. Left foot of cross from Giles. Oh, and it's tipped over the bar by Lamans. I'm pretty sure that was a cross gone wrong there from Ryan Giles, but he forced Senna Lamans to get up and tip it over the bar. And again, these Hull City supporters are liking what they're seeing. That was really lapsed from Brian and Burmo. Mazraoui's clearing header should have landed at his feet, but Regan Slater got in there, and that was really dangerous. Ryan Giles, well, he definitely mishits it, but Lamans had to get up and tip it over the bar. So a corner for Hull here. Be taken by Regan Slater, a right-footed in-swinger. In it comes now, into the near post, glanced on, it's into the back post. Red Burnley, what a save! Lamans, it's in! Hull City lead on 17 minutes. It's Sammy Ajayi who slams it home, and the newly promoted side have the lead against Manchester United. And it's a corner kick for Hull City that has paid dividends. And it's the big defender, Sammy Ajayi, with Senna Lamans still on the ground after making a fabulous save, who slams it home into the empty net. And after 17 minutes, it's Hull City 1, Manchester United 0. And a big, big moment for the newly promoted side here at home. What a delivery by Regan Slater. Glanced on at the near post, couple of deflections. McBurney, Lamans does so well to keep it out. And Ajayi, though, slams it home. There's maybe even an argument that McBurney's header might have crossed the line. But Manchester United outdone at the corner kick here. And whether it's McBurney or Ajayi, it's brilliant. It comes on there from, it's John Egan who glances it on at the near post, takes a deflection, finds McBurney at the back post. Senna Lamans gets a hand to it, actually onto the post. And then Semi Ajayi makes no mistake from all about 4 yards. And the MKM Stadium erupts. And Michael Carrick stands sullen-faced, arms folded. And we'll see who the goal is given to. Initially it is going to be given to Semi Ajayi. Hull won't care, Ollie McBurney won't care, as they lead here over Manchester United. Interesting, the last two meetings between these sides, Hull are unbeaten in them. He drew 0-0 at Old Trafford in that season. They got relegated. They also won the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-finals that season. 2-1 here at home, albeit losing 3-2 on aggregate. And now they lead here on home soil as the United come forward down the right, looking to respond. Mazraoui back to Andre Santos, to Tielemans. Two new boys in midfield. Tielemans out onto the right hand side from Mazraoui. Nice 1-2 with Fernandez. Mazraoui to the byline, cuts it back. Good interception by Egan. The hit back in by Tielemans, couple of deflections, and it will settle for Konstantinos Salakis to pick it up. United respond well, but Hull keeping them at bay. A brilliant, brilliant corner kick there from City. Brilliant delivery by Regan Slater. Glanced on really bravely at the near post by John Egan. It takes a touch off somebody to find Ollie McBurney at the far post. Did his effort go over the line? Doesn't matter. Lamans pushed it onto the post. And Semi Ajayi smashes home the rebound. Indeed, it looks like, certainly for now anyway, the goal belongs to the Nigerian centre-half. Just to talk about the dubious goals panel, maybe they'll take a look at it, but Hull City fans don't care who the goal goes to. Their first goal back in the Premier League in 9 years. And they lead Manchester United here. 20 minutes gone. They have a free kick to just inside the United half. Louis Coyle's going to take it. Amber and black shirts and white shirts line up along the edge of the penalty area. Coyle, good delivery to the back post. Good header. Well, glanced on there in the end by Andre Santos. Picked up on the left-hand side by Stroud. In it comes. Go come to Balumi. And Balumi balloons it over the bar. But more good pressure there from Hull City. That one dropping to Mohamed Balumi on the edge of the penalty area. And he tried to smash it back in there. He ended up not really getting all of it and slicing it over the crossbar. Good clearing header by Aidan Heaven. The Algerian forward, Balumi, just couldn't keep his effort down. Lamans now from the goal kick sends it long. Up over halfway. And Burmo holding off the challenge of Mendy. Does well, gets it on to Cunha, still in the centre circle though for United. Long way to go, and a lot of Hull City shirts between him and the goal. And Cunha is forced backwards, twisting, turning. Good strong challenge there by Matt Crooks. And that'll be a throw in to United on the left hand side, about 10 yards inside the Hull City half. Crooks, formerly of Middlesbrough, joined Hull at the beginning of last season after a spell stateside with Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer. Making a Premier League debut today, a very capable championship midfielder for many a year. He's now making the step up to the top tier with the Tigers. Here's Mazraoui with Tielemans. Good challenge by Mendy. Comes back to Mazraoui. Now Tielemans again, just inside the Hull City half. Uses Mazraoui again. Now Mbeumo on the right-hand touchline. Tielemans under pressure there from Regan Slater, and Slater had just fouled him. One of those ones that if you're on the ball, you're really hoping the referee gives that one, because if not, Regan Slater's away in the counter-attack there, but free kick it is United. Tielemans takes it quick with a 1-2 with Mazraoui. Back to Andre Santos in the centre circle. Cunha, nice ball around the corner for Fernandez, on to Mbeumo, right corner of the penalty area. Mbeumo left footed delivery to the back post, up goes Dorgu. Solakis gets up really well there, and the two of them have ended up in a heap on the ground, Patrick Dorgu and Konstantinos Solakis. That was really brave from both of them in the end. The Hull keeper, I think, got more onto that one. But both committed full throttle for that one, and both have ended up on the ground. Certainly no question of a foul there from either player. Just a really full-blooded challenge for that ball. And, well, the Hull City goalkeeper is back on his feet. We'll see if Patrick Dorgu is here shortly. I think he is. Indeed he is. So we'll get going again here. Solakis is going to send that one long. Really long. McBurney wins the header over Heaven. McBurney's had Aidan Heaven's number so far. Belumi intercepted by Tielemans, but it'll drop for Mendy, who plays out on the left for Giles. Giles had a couple of dangerous deliveries. Another one. That one bounced right in front of Harry Maguire, and he gets it away. Slater beats Mbeumo to it, back out to Giles. Now Slater again, midway inside the United half. Pings right on the right. Louis Coyle's going to try and get on the end of it, but there's too much sauce on that pass from Slater. Coyle gives him a thumbs up. Right idea, just execution not quite right. But a throw in to Manchester United on the left-hand side. Off in line with the edge of their own penalty area. Luke Shaw will take it. Socked around the ankles. Shaw, like teammate Harry Maguire, despite two of them being key members of Gareth Southgate's England reign, not called up for this summer's World Cup. Certainly Harry Maguire and his family made their opinions clear about that one. Here's a man who was at the World Cup, Mazraoui. Brandon Mbeumo, whose Cameroon side didn't even qualify, so he had a nice restful summer. Back to Tielemans, part of the Belgium team that made it to the quarter-finals, and he thought he was fouled there by Elliot Stroud, but nothing doing. Cleared away. Andre Santos can't bring it under control. Heaven does, and now here's Fernandez. Fernandez chips one over the top there. Going to find Dorgu. Dorgu contorts himself, and then his shot just goes across the face of goal. He's looking for a corner, but I don't think he's getting one. 25 minutes gone. Hull City 1, Manchester United 0. A goal from Sammy Ajayi after 17 minutes. A brilliant Hull City corner kick. A great save from Senna Lamans to deny Ollie McBurney, but there was the big Nigerian centre half standing right in front of goal to smash home the rebound after John Egan's front post flick on had found McBurney at the back post. And that has lit up the MKM Stadium. Santos wins the header, with Egan with a rather uncouth hoof up into the air, but it works alright. Belumi brings it down. And here's a captain, Louis Coy. Fizzes one into McBurney. He does well to control it and wins the throw in for the challenge of Luke Shaw. Coyle will take this one. Coyle will leave that one for Belumi to chase, who's going to launch a long throw here. No, he doesn't. He plays it short to Coyle. Going to come back to Belumi though. Now he's going to wind up a left-footed cross, and well, Hull players waiting for it on the edge of the box, but he overhits that one straight into the midriff of Senna Lamans, who gets United going here with Andre Santos. Tielemans. Probably the two of them were United's, so far anyway, biggest name signings of the summer. Santos coming from Chelsea, Tielemans from Villa. Although rumours are to be believed that United are close to adding another midfielder to their squad, Carlos Baleba from Brighton. So let's see if that one gets done before the window shuts in just over a week's time. Only approaching the end of August, of course, as Aidan Heaven plays on out on the left for Luke Shaw. Back to Heaven inside his own penalty area. Sorry, his own penalty area, his own half, sorry. I haven't gone that far back. Here's Maguire now in the centre circle. Maguire clips one out on the left for Shaw. Shaw, nice flick around the corner for Dorgu, but a couple of Hull City shirts are there, and it's Louis Coyle who wins it back and then looks for the free kick. Darren England puts his whistle to his mouth. Instead, plays an advantage for Hull as Balumi will try and come away down the right. Lovely skill from Mohamed Balumi, but well covered by Andre Santos after Balumi had got past Shaw. Dorgu, Fernandez looked for the return ball, and Dorgu's pass was blocked by Louis Coyle, but not in an illegal way, says Darren England. But United keep the ball here with Heaven. And Maguire in the centre circle again as they look to build from the back. Hull have been combative here in the opening 28 minutes, that's for sure. It's got them the lead. Sergei Yakirovich will be very pleased with his players' efforts so far. Heaven with a pass I think was intended for Mathias Cunha, but instead it'll find Yuri Tielemans. No harm done. Now Tielemans finds Mazraoui right hand side, midway inside the Hull half, and Burmo on the right flank ahead for Cunha, who has Mendy out there with him. It gets the ball in, but easily dealt with by John Egan. And he'll send that one out for a throw into United on the right hand side, midway inside the Hull City half. Maguire now to Andre Santos on the halfway line. And Burmo skips away from Crooks. Mazraoui now on the right hand side. Back inside to Cunha. Cunha twisting, turning. Can't lose Matt Crooks. He's a big man, Matt Crooks, a big combative midfielder. That's for sure. Fernandez now out onto the right-hand touchline for Burmo. Mazraoui United playing short, intricate passes, not really making much impact. There's Maguire with a good ball in. That's good impact, and Dorgu can't get a great touch on it at the back post. Harry Maguire there with a delicious ball in there. And the travelling supporters here at the MKM Stadium have something to cheer there. That was a really good ball from Harry Maguire, and well, it's good defending, I think, at the back post from Louis Coyle just to get his body in the way there. And Dorgu couldn't get a touch, and Maguire's cross instead skips out for a goal kick on the far side, which Konstantinos Solakis will take. A fairly dull, clammy late summer's early afternoon here in East Yorkshire. And there's Crooks just absolutely slamming into the back of Andre Santos there as the two of them are waiting for that ball to come down. Crooks will claim that he was just claiming going for the header, but certainly not really much to it. Half an hour gone here now. To say that, of course, this is the first Premier League Saturday of the season. And we've got 4 more Premier League games for you today. 3 3:00 kickoffs. Everton versus Crystal Palace, Ipswich v Sunderland, and Nottingham Forest v Leeds before it's a London derby at 5:30 p.m. Brentford versus Tottenham. And then if you're still haven't got your football fixed, we've got Jose Mourinho's competitive return to action for Real Madrid manager as they take on Espanyol this evening, 8:30 p.m. UK time. As that's a lovely shimmy there from Regan Slater just to get away from Yuri Tielemans there, but it's going to be a throw into United on the right hand side. Tomorrow the Premier League action continues. 3 more games for you tomorrow. At 2 o'clock it's Brighton versus Aston Villa and Manchester City versus Bournemouth, the first Premier League game under Enzo Maresca. Of course, the Community Shield did not exactly go to plan for City last week, losing 3-0 to Arsenal. And then tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. it's Newcastle versus Liverpool. Again, more La Liga action for you tomorrow evening. Elche Barcelona, 8:30 p.m. as United come forward here now with Tielemans. Good challenge by Crooks. Throw into United though on the left, about 10 yards from the byline. If you're a night owl tonight, Inter Miami versus Toronto FC, 1:30 a.m. UK time, MLS action, and it's Eredivisie early tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. PSV v Groningen. And then the Premier League weekend rounds out on Monday night, the West London derby, Fulham versus Chelsea, 8 p.m. UK time. Luke Shaw, long throw in. Aidan Heaven goes to ground there. He's claiming a foul. It's still in there. Dorgu back to goal on the edge of the penalty area. Nice intricate ball. Santos to Cunha. And Andre Santos goes to ground here. Darren England will have decisions to make. So far, nothing doing. It's out on the right flank now from Mazraoui. And Burmo delivers one in. Glanced onto the back post. And Solakis will pounce upon that one. Well, both Aidan Heaven and Andre Santos both went to ground inside the Hull City penalty area. But Darren England and so far his officiating team behind the scenes all unmoved by any of them. So Hull survived that little bit of United pressure. Here's Slater in the penalty area, or the centre circle. I really need to stop saying penalty area, don't I? I'm giving you false ideas here. There's Mendy. Now back to Crooks on halfway for Hull, who'll just look to settle things down here. 32 minutes gone at the MKM Stadium. Hull City 1, Manchester United 0. Live on Flash Score Official. I'm Mark Strange here. Delighted to be bringing you this one. Hull City's first match back in the Premier League in 9 years. And they have come back with a bang. Semi Ajayi with a goal in 17 minutes, slamming home a rebound from straight in front of goal after Senna Lamans had made a terrific save from Ollie McBurney's back post effort from a corner. And now Mohamed Baloumi is penalised for a foul, and United will get going again here inside their own half with Maguire, who strides forward, takes it over halfway with Tielemans. Gets it back from the Belgian midfielder, Harry Maguire. He's a long ball down the left. Luke Shaw, lovely touch from Shaw, keeps it in. Gets it back to Dorgu. Dorgu has space now, gets into the box. Patrick Dorgu, good challenge though from Baloumi. Andre Santos beats McBurney that one and gets it back to Shaw. Now all the way back to halfway line for Aidan Heaven. Now Harry Maguire. Mazraoui. Back to Maguire again. Plenty of touches early for Harry Maguire. Dorgu. In for Heaven. Forced backwards by Baloumi. They'll play a lateral ball into the centre circle for Harry Maguire. Maguire now to Dorgu. Dorgu midway inside the Hull City half. He cuts inside into the centre of the park. Gets away from Slater and finds Mazraoui. Who in turn finds Mbeumo. He's going to take on Ryan Giles here. Cross comes Elliot Stroud to help. So Mbeumo is doubled up and goes back to Mazraoui. Dorgu turns away from Slater but runs straight into Matt Crooks. Good challenge from Crooks and a challenge from Andre Santos and Ollie McBurney. And that's going to bring a free kick for Hull City. So Hull still being incredibly combative here. In fact, I think actually the foul was against Patrick Dorgu as Crooks did well to make it. Yeah, indeed it is. There's a yellow card for Patrick Dorgu, who, when you see the replay there, just overran that one slightly. And in the end, as Crooks come in with a good strong challenge, Dorgu caught him with a stud just high on the foot. So 35 minutes gone, first yellow card of the day goes the way of Patrick Dorgu. So Michael Carrick sat on the bench in discussions with coaching staff. Sure, he won't be overly happy with what he has seen from his side. Konstantinos Solakis, midway inside his own half, sends that one long. Volleyed back from whence it came by Heaven, and then headed back by John Egan. Shaw beats McBurney to it, but it'll drop for Stroud, but his pass is a bit short for Regan Slater. Now United can clear away with Tielemans, looking for Mbeumo down the right. Good touch for Brian Mbeumo. Brings Noble Mendy out there with him. Mbeumo in line with the edge, 18-yard box, cuts inside, gets across in looking for Cunha. Good header away by Egan. Go drop the edge of the box for Tielemans. Thought about a shot instead. Shuffles out left. Luke Shaw. Shaw, good ball into the back post. And Mbeumo, bicycle kick deflected over the bar. An acrobatic effort from Brian Mbeumo there. That took a nick. I think it was off Egan and behind for a Manchester United corner. What a goal that would have been. In fact, it was off Ryan Giles at the back post. And a corner kick for Manchester United, which Mbeumo will trot over to take. The United fans in that corner, so wrapped around up to the corner, up the sideline a little bit here at the MKM Stadium. Maybe a left-footed in-swinger from Brian Mbeumo, right hand into the air. In it comes, and Mbeumo right in on top of Solakis, who does really well to catch that one. He's so tall, Konstantinos Solakis, so he will come and claim crosses and corners like that all day long. And he gets Hull going quickly here. Giles down the left-hand side now for Stroud. Stroud faced up by Fernandez. We'll go back and play the simple pass to Crooks. Slater out onto the right-hand side for COYI. Hull City captain waves up across, gets one in, really good one. Maguire gets up ahead of McBurney. It'll drop though for Slater. Now Baloumi on the edge of the penalty area, left-footed ball, clips it out on the left for Ryan Giles. Left corner of the penalty area, good ball in from him, and another good header away from Maguire. But it'll come back out to Giles. He fancy another cross. He's faced up by Mbeumo. He's got Stroud out there with him, so he uses the Swedish international. Back inside for Bellumi. Lovely touch from Bellumi, and he was fouled by Tielemans. Really nice. Just one of those ones from Mohamed Bellumi where he just roll the ball with your studs just as Tielemans committed to the tackle. And Tielemans has fouled him. In fact, he went as far as even nutmegging Youri Tielemans. So free kick it will be to Hull City here. Dangerous area, about 25 yards from goal, pretty much in line with the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Imagine me not the best spot for a shot on goal here. Giving me to eat my words, but there's a gaggle of players sort of gathering around the penalty spot. Senna Lamans organises a two-man wall there of Brian and Burmo and Matthias Cunha. Regan Slater and Mohamed Bellumi stand over this one as Ryan Giles walks away. Maybe a training ground move coming up here for the Tigers. We shall see. Will be delivered there. In it comes, and it's all gone the way through. It's 2-0 for Hull City. And who's claiming that one? I think it's Noble Mendy with a debut goal. The free kick went all the way in. Noble Mendy has glanced it home. And in 38 minutes, it's Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. It's a dream return to the top flight for the Tigers. And their new signing gets a debut goal. It's the two defenders who have got their goals. 2 set pieces, and Manchester United are 2 goals down here on East Yorkshire. What a goal, what a free kick delivery that was. And indeed, it's Mendy who gets up at the back post. It's a great delivery. Regan Slater. Harry Maguire jumps, doesn't get near to it. Who's picking up Mendy? Nusir Mazraoui is left with both Ajayi and Mendy at the back post, and I'm pretty sure was not the memo. Andre Santos is lurking back there, not really picking up anybody. And Noble Mendy glances home Regan Slater's free kick delivery. And with 7 minutes until half time here, it is Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. And the Tigers have come roaring back into the Premier League. As the fans are doing the Tiger claws at the Manchester United fans, who many of them stand sullen-faced in the away end here at the MKM Stadium. Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. Heaven's lost out to Bellumi here. McBurney's there too, but Heaven recovers well from his own mistake, granted, but he gets a toe in there just to divert it back to Harry Maguire. But Hull are all over United here. No time on the ball. And Burmo finds Tielemans. Was he fouled that time by Slater? He was. What a delivery that was from Regan Slater for that free kick. And Noble Mendy finding just the slightest yard of space in a crowded penalty area to nod it home. Cunha. Down the left-hand side he comes. Shaw ahead of him. Shaw tries to cut inside. Good challenge by Louis Coyle. He wants to throw in. Not sure if he's going to get it or not. But Noble Mendy, the Cameroonian defender, on debut, signed from Rayo Vallecano. Indeed, it is going to be a Hull City throw-in. But Noble Mendy introduces himself to the Hull City faithful in the best possible way. Tielemans hooks it on. Dorgu beats Slater to it. Now it comes for Fernandez. Good challenge, though, by Egan. And Mendy gets it away for Stroud. Stroud, heavy touch, invites a challenge from Mazraoui, and it's a good one. And Burmo to Fernandez. And Burmo's path for the second ball was blocked by Crooks. Advantage played, though, by Darren England. Andre Santos now midway inside the Hull City half. Looking for options ahead of him, but there's a amber and black wall in front of him, so he goes back to Cunha. United trying to pick the lock here. Dorgu, nice close passing, but in the end, it's Bellumi who gets in the way of his attempted pass to Shaw. And Hull will try and break away here, but it's going to break for him. Burmo, who goes back to the halfway line to retrieve it. 4 minutes plus any stoppage time remaining at the end of this first half. You're listening to live Premier League action, the first Premier League Saturday of the season, and it's Hull City, the New Boys 2, Manchester United 0. Andre Santos has to sidestep the referee, but he gets to it. Mazraoui now. Back to Andre Santos. Tielemans back to Maguire on the halfway line. Fernandez fizzes one into the feet of Mazraoui. And Tielemans. It's all very slow here from United. Right. Andre Santos is back to the centre circle. Cunha. Crooks biting in with another challenge, but Cunha lays it off to Heaven. And now Maguire striding forward, midway inside the Hull City half. Looks for his options and plays the short pass to Youri Tielemans. And now when Burmo gets past Giles but doesn't get the cross past Mendy, who clears it out for a United throw in on the right hand side. The Hull with a bit of defending to do, and there's a yellow card there dished out by Darren England. I think it might have been for Matt Crooks. We'll confirm that in a minute. Say he sort of blocked Brian and Burmo's path for a return ball from Bruno Fernandes. So a long throw coming up here from Nusir Mazraoui. In it comes, glanced on and taken in by Solakis. Nobody in United's shirt able to do anything with that one. And Hull's new Greek goalkeeper will claim that one. Indeed, just had confirmation that yellow card is for Matt Crooks. And well, he's certainly he's a big physical midfielder, but for the remainder of the first half and the rest of the game, however long he stays on for, he'll have to be careful. He joins United's Patrick Dorgu in Darren England's notebook. A card apiece. 2 cards, evenly split, but it's 2 goals. Both of them going the way of Hull City. What a brilliant start to their return to the Premier League. 9 years away, but they've taken this like a duck to water, have the Tigers. Shaw just about keeps that one in. You see Sergei Yakirovich when he's looking around at the 4th official or linesman thinking that one might have crossed the touchline, but United still have it, but they're inside their own half and Hull City are happy enough to keep them there. Maguire now will stride over halfway. Finds Mazraoui on the right, midway inside the Hull City half. Back to Mbeumo. 1-2 with Fernandes. But there's not much room here, and well, that's nicely done though by Cunha. The delivery looking for Dorgu, but it's away by Mendy. Right for a throw in on the right hand side again to United, about 25 yards from goal. Right, Nusir Mazraoui wind up another long throw. The return of the long throw. Oh, he's got his podcast now out there, but somewhere Tony Pulis is sitting with his feet up, having a good old chuckle. Everyone used to mock him. Now it's very much in vogue. Ryan Burmo, right corner of the penalty area. Good delivery in for Cunha. Oh, and he and Coyle were challenging there. At the end, that header just steered wide. United will be looking for better chances than that. They have been undone by 2 terrific set pieces. Corner kick and a free kick that have led to Hull City's goals. First one, a corner kick glanced on at the front post to Ollie McBurney at the back post, whose shot was well saved by Senna Lamans, but there was Semi Ajayi to slam home the rebound from all the 4 yards out. And the second goal, a wonderful free kick delivery from Regan Slater that despite the packed penalty area, United didn't pick up Noble Mendy, who glanced home the header at the back post. One for Balumi to chase, and now he's fouled Aidan Heaven. A free kick to Manchester United, deep in the left corner there. Ollie McBurney not happy with the linesman over something, not quite sure what. It was surely couldn't have been for Balumi's foul. It was about as clear as they come. And now we're over the 45 minutes. What sort of added time will we have here? Tielemans outright for Mazraoui, faced up by Giles. Mazraoui for Fernandes. Mazraoui into the penalty area now. Gets the ball in, blocked by Mendy, hooked away. Now Tielemans, 2 added minutes. We're into that now. So United don't have long if they're going to try and have this deficit before the break. Mendy slices the clearance up into the air, and Solakis, the big tall goalkeeper, will come and claim that one above him. Burmo, no problem for the man signed from Olympiacos. He'll set the ball down and just hammer it clear. Way about 60 yards, and that will make Bernie goes to ground. The ball goes over the top with both he and Heaven through to Lamans on the edge of the penalty area. Now Andre Santos. Is there a chance, one last chance in stoppage time here for United? Fernandes forward to Mbeumo. Crooks will get that one for Tielemans. Come back for Fernandes now on the right, midway inside the Hull City half. Mbeumo. Back to Fernandes. They're halfway through the stoppage time here. Tielemans, crunching challenge there between Mendy and Egan to get there before Dorgu. And now Cunha will bring it down for Fernandes, who curls one and is blocked away And it's going to go away out for a throw in on the left-hand side. Luke Shaw gets to it quickly, and United will want to try and get this one going. Bit of an optical illusion there. That shot was well blocked by John Egan. It looked like it had travelled further than it did. It's going to be a throw in, and Harry Maguire's up into the penalty area, jostling with Egan. Shaw, throw in isn't a great one. It's headed away by McBurney, who came back to deal with that one. Still a few seconds left, so Tielemans will recycle midway inside the whole half, but he's really nowhere to go there. Regan Slater all over him, and that has been Hull's MO here in this first half. Clearly, Sergei Yakirovich has had his side. They will be fit, they will be physical, and they will not give United a moment, and they have not at all. Is there one last chance here? It goes out for a throw in the far side, and Darren England says that's enough for the first half here at the MKM Stadium, and what a return to the top flight for the Tigers. They lead Manchester United by 2-0. 2 goals from the defenders, Semi Ajayi and Noble Mendy, from a couple of set pieces that Manchester United just have not defended well enough. Hull, like I said there, they have been fast, they have been physical, they have not afforded Manchester United a millisecond on the ball, and it has worked and then some in this first half. What a first half from Hull City. The new boys lead Manchester United at the break by 2-0. I'm going to go grab a cup of tea, catch my breath after a brilliant first half. For flash score official, as newly promoted Hull City, the playoff winners last season, lead Manchester United by 2-0 at half-time, and that has prompted a half-time change from Michael Carrick, and it is a first competitive Manchester United appearance for Marcus Rashford since December of 2024, as he is on to replace Patrick Dorgu at the break. Dorgu, who was booked and was otherwise ineffective in that first half, and Rashford is on. Last time he played was a Europa League clash away to Victoria Pilsen on the 12th of December 2024. He left the club to join Aston Villa on loan in that January, and then spent last season, of course, on loan at Barcelona. But Michael Carrick has already hinted this summer that he was still very much a part of his plans, and he is now off the bench wearing, might I add, the number 9 shirt for Manchester United, and that may well be a hint as to what Michael Carrick has for him this summer. Didn't play too many minutes in pre-season for United, maybe perhaps that's why he started on the bench, but he's back, and here come Hull though on the attack inside a minute. Cross in from Giles, and it's headed up into the air by Shaw and caught by Senna Lamans, who starts in goal for Manchester United. That full lineup, then Lamans cross the back, it's Mazraoui, Maguire, Heaven and Shaw. In midfield, it's Andre Santos, Yuri Tielemans, and the captain Bruno Fernandes. And now Rashford will join Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha as part of a front three for Manchester United. Well, for Hull, it's Konstantinos Soulakis in goal. The goal scorers Noble Mendy and Semi Ajayi, joined by John Egan in a back three. Louis Coyle and Ryan Giles are wide, with Matt Crooks, who's also on a booking, and Regan Slater in the middle. With a front three then of Elliot Stroud, Mohamed Baloumi, and Ollie McBurney. What a first half it has been here on the East Yorkshire coast for Hull City. Promoted by a stoppage time winner at Wembley in the playoff final back in May. And they are back in the top flight with a bang as Mendy, goal scorer, the Senegalese defender signed from Rayo Vallecano this summer, puts that one out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Sergei Yakirovic, who made history today himself of becoming the first Bosnian to ever manage in the Premier League, and he could not have asked for a much better 45 minutes than that. Here's Mbeumo now for United. 1-2 with Andre Santos, and Mbeumo in the box. Hits one blocked. It might even come off his own teammate Cunha. And indeed it did, and the offside flag goes up against the Brazilian forward, and Hull will get themselves a free kick out from their own penalty area, as Michael Carrick has some discussions with the fourth official, and well, he had a brilliant spell in charge last season. Took over from Ruben Amorim in early January with the club, sitting in 7th place, having finished 15th the year before, albeit Europa League runners-up, but took them to a very comfortable 3rd position, back into the Champions League this season, but well, after getting that position made permanent at the end of last season, it has not been a great start to this year for Michael Carrick's side. But we wouldn't rule out United come back in this second half, but they'll need to improve massively in the first, as Cunha looks for Mbeumo, but well read by Crooks, who's now on the ball again here, and he flicks one out on the right hand side for his captain Louis Coyle to chase, where across comes Luke Shaw to intercept. Now here's the first touch for Marcus Rashford down the left hand touchline. He goes, takes on Ajayi, cuts inside, challenge there from Coyle, and it's a foul by Louis Coyle, says referee Darren England, and that's a free kick to Manchester United. So first action for Rashford off the bench, and he wins a free kick for United. Well, and he thought he might have returned to Barcelona. He was a very impactful player, not always from the start, but Hansi Flick's winning La Liga last season, but he went in another direction. Another Englishman, signing Anthony Gordon from Newcastle. And Shaw now delivers that free kick in. Up goes Heaven, headed away well by Egan, and now Giles, who had slipped I think in the build up, and that one gets it away, but Tielemans will win the foot race and nudges it back to Nusir Mazraoui. Advantage play by Darren England for a foul there by Giles on Tielemans. Now ball over the top for Harry Maguire. Hooks it back across and away by Mendy. Did Maguire stay on side there? Well, he did. He was on. Or was he? Ooh, it's very close. And Harry Maguire. Ultimately, though, no offside call. So it'll be a corner here. Brian and Burmo to take it. Left-footed in-swinger for United. 5 minutes gone in this second half. And Burmo in. Easily headed away in there by McBurney. Far too easily defended. That's what United couldn't do in that first half, was defend set pieces. Easily dealt with there. Fernandes. Tielemans scoops one into the box. Maguire's up there, wins a header. Heavens knocking about, but Egan gets there before him. He's going to go out onto this near side here as Cunha beats Stroud to it. Cross is deflected, nasty one, but a diving header away that time by John Egan. It'll go for a throw-in deep on the right-hand side, about 5 yards away from being a corner, but throw-in it is to United. Fernandes delivers the ball in. Heaven wins a header, and well, not even close to troubling Konstantinos Solakis in the home goal. So that spell of United pressure comes for nothing as a pensive Michael Carrick watches on. Hull, who beat his former side, where the side really where he cut his managerial teeth at Middlesbrough in the playoff final. They're supposed to face Southampton, but of course the week of the final, Southampton are kicked out of the final after their Spygate scandal. So we look at the bench today. Hull City had 3 debutants. One of them scored, Noble Mendy. Solakis, the goalkeeper, and Elliot Stroud are the other debutants, but there's another 4 potentially on the bench for Sergei Yakirovich as Solakis comes out to the edge of his box and beats Rashford to that one. But also signed this summer, not in the squad with injuries, Jack Butland, former England international. Oscar Zambrano, the Colombian midfielder, Ecuadorian midfielder, I apologize, signed from Maribor. Hidemasa Morita, Japanese midfielder, signed from Sporting. And Joe Gelhardt, who was on loan last season from Leeds United, striker, signed permanently this summer. He also is missing today, but on the bench they have Matt Targett, the former Newcastle man, who was on loan at Borough last season, played against Hull in the playoff final. He's on the bench. We've got Liam Miller, the Canadian international. Another new signing is Jens Hjerto Dahl, the young Norwegian midfielder signed from Tromsø. We've got Northern Ireland national Paddy McNair on the bench, Cody Drame, Lucas Harrington, the young Australian defender who rose to prominence at the World Cup, joining from Colorado Rapids. As that ball over the top, far too long for Brian and Burmo, and Solakis will just let it run for a goal kick. Matt Targett on the bench, Kieran Doyle, and then Lucas Gournadoy, the French midfielder, formerly of Roma, signed from Le Havre. So that's the options on the bench for Sergei Yakirovich. Dylan Phillips is the backup goalkeeper for United. They've Carl Darlow on the bench, Diogo Dallo, Sandro Martinez. Rashford has already joined us. Joshua Zirkzee, Lenny Yoro, Benjamin Sesko, Shea Lacey, and Kobe Mainu. So still options on there for Michael Carrick as we played 8 minutes in the second half. It remains Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. First half goals, some set pieces by 2 defenders, Semi Ajayi and Noble Mendy with a debut goal. Brian and Burmo now is going to take on Mendy down this right hand side. If we're keeping that one in, he gets into the penalty area. Cunha with Fernandes with a dummy and nobody behind him. And Semi Ajayi comes out and slides in to win that one off Tielemans. That's a really poor dummy from Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure who he thought was behind him there. As Giles' pass looking for McBurney is picked off by Shaw, and Mully McBurney is hobbling slightly. That's not what Hull City fans will want to see. Their Wembley hero scored a stoppage time winner in the final against Middlesbrough in May. And Burmo, who easily read that time by Stroud, and United have just been a little predictable today, and Hull have not given them a moment's peace, that is for sure. As Solakis sends that one long, and Stroud gets forward, but well read by Harry Maguire, and he comes striding forward over halfway, trying to push United forward from the back. Maguire in for Fernandes, but well read by Mendy in ahead of him. Burmo. Now McBurney will come away with it here, and he slides it on under pressure from Andre Santos. He's still not moving fully there, Ollie McBurney, but he does well to get that one ahead of the Brazilian midfielder, but eventually the ball will come back to the edge United area for Senna Lamens. Here's Tielemans. Or Leicester City midfielder, dreadful pass, gives it away to Matt Crooks, and he has to be careful. He's on a book and he overran that one and nearly collided with Andre Santos. But United will come away with it down the left hand side now with Rashford. COYI is in there, Rashford cuts inside, overlapping here's Shaw. Shaw's cut back is blocked behind for a corner, so that left hand side for United of Rashford and Shaw is causing a bit of trouble here for Hull City. 10 minutes gone after the break. It still remains as it was at the break, 2-0 to the Tigers, but United have another corner here. Their set pieces today, both defensively and offensively, have not been good enough. Bruno Fernandes, usually so good with the dead ball, needs to be better here. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from the United captain, the Portuguese international. Plenty of options in white in the middle for United. As mentioned, they are on their change trip today. Rashford delivers it in and header goes up and it's bobbling around, and there Aiden Heaven went to ground, nothing doing. Andre Santos will chase it out onto the right hand side, goes back to Mbeumo. He'll deliver a left footed ball which is not quite far enough for Bruno Fernandes. Crooks gets ahead onto it, but Fernandes is beaten to it by Bellumi, and now Hull, can they break away? Still a long way to go. Bellumi over the top for Crooks, he's onside. Crooks Lamans comes way out of his goal and had to get there and was just a step quicker than Matt Crooks was there. Great work though from the Hull City midfielder. Initially winning the header above Fernandes, and then Bellumi sent him careering away over the top, but well read by Senna Lamans, who realised that none of his defenders are going to get there and it'll be down to him. As I say, United in their change strip with a bit of an off-white with dark red trim, black shorts and white socks. Hull City in a very snazzy looking home strip, traditional looking amber and black stripes, a white collar on it, white shorts and amber and black socks. Instead of having their usual Tiger badge on too, they have the script HCAFC down the shirt, and it's a very smart looking kit for their return to the Premier League. Now here's one over the top for Rashford as the onside doesn't matter, so Lakis comes out to the edge of the penalty area and beats him to it anyway. And now here is Regan Slater, whose free kick delivery was absolutely spot on for Noble Mendy to glance home at the back post for Hull's second. Here is Mendy, and we'll just roll out and back to Solakis, all in dark green. Senna Lamans the other end in like a fluorescent green. Solakis long over the top. McBurney, well, he wins a flick on, but nobody there. Heaven nulls it down to Maguire, and now Shaw brings it down on the left hand side, midway inside his own half. So his path down the wing stopped by Crooks. He's a real big physical midfielder. He's been really good today for Hull, and Hull really have not allowed United a second to breathe here. They have been United have dominated possession in this second half, but there's another one. Good challenge by Giles, who gets in ahead of Mazraoui, but now Mazraoui gets the ball back and Giles is out of position. Mazraoui, right hand corner of the penalty area, left footed ball in, looks for Rashford, away by Ajayi, who got up well ahead of him. And Maguire with a bit of a heavy touch, but he skips away from Crooks, who had to pull out that tackle for fear of getting a second yellow. Here's Cunha now in the left hand corner, faced up by the Hull City captain Louis COYI. He goes into the box here, Cunha to the edge of the box now, and it's Rashford, and well robbed again by Crooks, who timed that one well. Cunha for Fernandes in the edge of the box, and he plays one for Rashford in the left corner, but COYI is all over him. Rashford gets onto his right foot, volley clear though in the middle by Sammy Ajayi, and Ollie McBurney's going to try and beat Aiden Heaven. This one he doesn't, but Heaven's heavy touch gives it away to McBurney. United claim a throw in, but it's still in. The Scottish striker, being a pest as he so often is, skips away from Tielemans. Still going, Ollie McBurney, a weaving run. Now he finds Giles on the left hand side, midway inside the United half. He plays one to the middle, looking for the run of Elliot Stroud, and just a little bit too much on that one. And well, great footwork from Ollie McBurney. Still United looking to the linesman saying, how did you not give that one? They thought it was out of play, but rule 101, you play to the whistle, and there was no whistle. Here's Rashford now on the left, in line with the edge, the 18-yard box, goes back to Fernandes. Fernandes now at 30 yards from goal, central. He's going to hit one from range, and well, that is, Solakis could have caught that one with his eyes closed. It bounced in front of him, but that is catching practice for the big Greek goalkeeper. And well, I can see actually why United weren't happy with that one. That clearly went over the sideline, a real oversight there from the linesman. But as I say, you got to keep playing until the whistle, and United didn't there. However, had that something really come of that in the end for Hull City, that would have been major controversy there. So perhaps thankfully for our linesman's sake, nothing did happen. Now an hour gone here, and it still remains Hull City 2, Manchester United 0 as well. Good defensive work from Louis COYI, just stepping across Luke Shaw there as he tried to get on the end of Marcus Rashford's ball. Michael Carrick will go back. Will sit back down on the bench. It has been a frustrating afternoon, to say the least, for United, who were 7th when Carrick took over in early January. And after he took over, they had the most points and most goals of anybody in the league from that point on. 41 points, 36 goals. They also got 29 away points as the ball through from Tielemans or Rashford out of nothing there. Well, he just can't get on the end of it. Solakis is out really quickly again. He's had a great debut today. The Greek international goalkeeper Konstantinos Solakis signed for in the region of £20 million from the Greek giants Olympiacos. He's been really, really good. United were really, really good in their travels last season. Said only they were 3rd in the league on away points, 29 of them on the road. And well, they have won more Premier League opening day matches than anybody in the league's history. 22 of them, however. They did lose last season away to the eventual champions Arsenal on day 1. And if they were to lose here again today, it will be the first time since 1973 that United have lost back-to-back games on the opening day of the season. In fact, it will be a year later was the last time Hull beat Manchester United. 1974, the last league victory for Hull over United, but they lead by 2-0. Good ball in from Giles, steered away by Andre Santos, but Mendy will get to it again. Now Giles again on the left-footed delivery, away by Maguire this time, but Hull will come back to it again. Well, Noble Mendy has gone to get that one, but he's hobbling quite badly here, and he gets it back from Slater. I'm not sure he wanted it. I don't know what's happened there for Noble Mendy. He is not looking overly comfortable, and I can see Sergei Yakirovic on the bench there summoning somebody back. I don't know whether that's to be replaced Mendy. I saw McBurney was struggling a little bit early in the second half. He seems doing a bit better, but we'll see what Sergei Yakirovic does. That's a dreadful pass from Shaw to Andre Santos. Now won back by Bellumi, and now here's Coyle to Crooks. Ajay, Coyle on the right hand side as the sunshine comes out here on Humberside for the first time this afternoon. Out on the right hand side is Bellumi in that sunshine now. Bellumi's going to hit one left through, a dipping one over the top. Lamans, I think, saw that one all the way, but a good effort by the Algerian winger there, Mohamed Bellumi. Perhaps looking to take advantage of that sunshine, which would be into Senna Laman's eyes there. And yeah, indeed, Lamans watched that one over the top, but a good effort. And it gets a round of applause from his manager. And indeed, it looks like Noble Mendy's day is done. Well, the Senegalese defender scored on debut and has been rock solid at the back, but it looks as though his race has run here after 63 minutes. And I think the same for Ollie McBurney, although he's certainly moving a bit easier now, but the last thing they'll want is for him to pick up an early season injury. So it looks as though, well, Ollie McBurney is walking over towards the sideline. I'd imagine this might be a double change here enforced for Hull City. Noble Mendy is certainly not looking in good shape. He's having discussions with referee Darren England. We're getting our look at his goal. A brilliant delivery it was from Regan Slater, and Mendy just finding an inch of space in a crowded penalty area to glance it home. And indeed, his afternoon is done. Hopefully nothing too sinister for Mendy. He was excellent, and he's going to be replaced by another debutant. The 18-year-old Australian Lucas Harrington is on here, signed from Colorado Rapids in Major League Soccer after shining at the World Cup for Australia. And he is on for Noble Mendy on 64 minutes. One debutant for another. That's Ollie McBurney is indeed staying on. He is for now anyway. Although there's Paddy McNair, the Northern Ireland international, who is getting some instructions on the bench here. And he's on for Semi Ajayi. So a double change at the back. Both goal scorers for Hull City off here on 64 minutes. Not sure if Ajayi is hurt. Mendy was quite clearly hurt. Not sure if Ajayi was struggling or whether that's just to freshen up the back line for Sergei Yakirovic. But that is Paddy McNair on. Another man who had a spell in Major League Soccer with San Diego. Joined Hull last season as part of the promotion team. A real experienced campaigner, and of course a former Manchester United player. Came through the academy at Carrington. And playing against his former side here as he returns to the Premier League. So that is McNair and Harrington on at the back. So the 2 goal scorers, Mendy and Ajayi for Hull City. 65 minutes gone here at the MKM Stadium. Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. There's Matt Crooks, who really needs to be careful. Not just Cunha going down there, but Crooks puts his hands up in the air and Darren England agrees with him. Mazraoui and Burmo on for Cunha, and Burmo, Mazraoui continuing his run ahead, but again, as has been the case most of the afternoon, amber and black shirts in his way. Now Fernandez to Mazraoui. McNair's out there with him. Now Giles covers. Back to Brian and Burmo. And Maguire midway inside the Hull City half on the right hand side. He was back inside to Andre Santos. Shaw has Rashford out on the left. Rashford finds it here now. Shaw overlapping, good ball. Look, Shaw into the middle, back for Cunha. Oh, what a block! And it's spun up into the air. John Egan with the block. Now it's out for Mazraoui on the right hand side to Burmo, right corner of the penalty area. Maguire, Tielemans, back to Maguire. Then Burmo. Maguire again. Now Mazraoui, good ball in, headed away. And back again to Maguire, who's pushing forward nearly as an extra midfielder here. Back to Andre Santos, now Aidan Heaven in the centre circle. Shaw. Shaw on the left hand side to Fernandez. Now here's Cunha out in the left corner. Coyle is out there with him. Cunha not much room to manoeuvre, so he rolls it back to Shaw again. Shaw, left foot delivery, that's a good one in the back post. Mazraoui gets a touch but can't keep it on target. He had Ryan Giles for company. He did well to even get a touch on that one, Noussair Mazraoui, but certainly there's going to be no chance for him to get it on target. So now a double change coming for United here, the first of which is going to see Andre Santos removed. Benjamin Sesko is coming on now for Manchester United. So the 2 debutant midfielders for United, Tielemans and Andre Santos, are both off. And it'll be Benjamin Sesko and Kobe Mainoo who are joining us here now on 67 minutes. So that's 3 subs now used by Michael Carrick. And certainly an attacking sub there made by the Manchester United manager. He's got to 67 minutes here without really much change in the way his side have gone. They need a goal and they need it fast. And well, Benjamin Sesko is certainly a man that can provide that. He will lead the line here now. It looks like Rashford to his left and Burmo to his right, and Cunha just sort of dropping in behind him, with Mainoo and Fernandez deeper still in midfield. But that double change then for United just confirming Andre Santos and Yuri Tielemans, their United debuts, ones to forget. They're off, and now on comes Sesko and Mainoo as there's a cross looking for McBurney. It's good drop here for Slater, but Maguire just gets in there and away by Fernandez. And Burmo now will chase down the right hand side, but well read by McNair. And he goes back to Solakis on his 6-yard line. So Manchester United have certainly had more of the ball here since half time, but really not much by way of chances. Now Darren England has paused things here, and well, that's another unfortunate one. It's the Hull City captain now, Louis Coyle, who just motions sort of the top of his left foot. I don't know whether he's maybe taking a stud there as he maybe rolled his ankle, and they've already lost. Well, certainly Noble Mendy looked hurt. Whether Sammy Ajayi was or not, we don't know, but the 2 goal scorers, they've already lost 2 defenders, and now as they approach the last 20 minutes here, the last thing Hull City will want is to lose their captain, Louis Coyle. Said Ollie McBurney too was looking like he was struggling a while ago, although appears to have shaken off whatever was ailing him. So as we wait for Louis Coyle to get a bit of treatment, just a reminder that this is of course the first Premier League Saturday of the season. We had Arsenal 3, Coventry City 0 last night, the champions against the long-awaited return of the Sky Blues. But later today, 3 p.m. kickoff, so just about in an hour's time. We've got Everton versus Crystal Palace. Ipswich also back up, bouncing straight back up to the Premier League. They host Sunderland, who will be in Europe for the first time ever this season. And then Nottingham Forest versus Leeds. And then this evening, 5:30 p.m. kickoff UK time, we've got a London derby, Brentford versus Tottenham, new look Tottenham, all that money being spent see can Roberto De Zerbi prevent a third straight year in 17th place. And then this evening we have La Liga action. Jose Mourinho's first competitive game back as Real Madrid manager. He will travel to Barcelona, but not to take on the champions. They will play Espanyol, an 8:30 p.m. kickoff UK time. And it looks like indeed Louis Coyle's afternoon is over. That's unfortunate for the Hull City captain. He gets a rapturous round of applause here as he makes his way off. He's going to be replaced by the former England under-21 international Cody Drameh at right back. We're going to see the Canadian international Liam Miller come on for Elliot Stroud, another debutant, Elliot Stroud, who really impressed on debut, the Swedish forward. And the Canadian who also played at this summer's World Cup, Liam Miller, is on for him. So that's Coyle and Stroud off, Drameh and Miller on here for Hull City. So that's 4 of Sergei Yakirovic's 5 subs used. United have used 3 of theirs. So we've got just under 20 minutes of normal time to go here at the MKM Stadium, where 2 first-half goals from the now departed Noble Mendy and Semi Ajayi both replaced the 2 defenders from 2 set pieces. Manchester United couldn't deal with them. It's Hull City 2, Manchester United 0, as the Tigers look to return to the Premier League in style and put a pin in the early season optimism, or pre-season optimism I should say, at Manchester United. Now here's Shaw to Rashford on the left-hand side, left corner of the penalty area. Rashford, the new man Drameh sticking to him, and he gets a good challenge in there, Cody Drameh. Rashford wants a free kick, but away comes the former Leeds United man. Drameh forward looking for Miller, the 2 subs trying to combine, but Mazraoui read that one well and wins it back in the centre circle. Here's Sesko, the big Slovenian forward in his 2nd season now at Old Trafford. He really started to come alive under Michael Carrick. They'll be hoping for a full season of that this year. Here's Fernandes out on the left hand side for Shaw, and it comes, it's over the head of Sesko, and Burmo arriving well away by Giles. Maguire beats McBurney to it. Now across from Menu, midway inside the Hull City half. Shaw left footed ball in, up goes Sesko. Good header away by Egan, who has taken the armband after Louis Coyle has departed, and that's a foul by Mazraoui on Miller. So free kick it is to Hull City as they repel another, well, I hate to say it, Manchester United fans, but another rather blunt Manchester United attack. And well, it has been all about the Tigers on their return to the top flight today, as Manchester United have struggled. Last time Hull beat Manchester United League 1974. The last time Manchester United lost back-to-back league openers in consecutive seasons, 1973. Although, that being said, the last 2 times these 2 sides have met, this would be extending Hull's unbeaten run against Manchester United to 3 games. They drew 0-0 at Old Trafford in the season. They ended up getting relegated after they won the 2nd leg of the EFL Cup semi-finals 2-1. There's delivery from Giles. Giles in there now, laid off from McBurney. McBurney finds Drameh on the edge of the box. Drameh, oh, inches wide. A low hard shot from Cody Drameh, and he had Lamon stretching, and it must have just kissed the outside of the post on the way past. It's so close from Cody Drameh. Liam Miller was arriving at the back post, maybe a step or a half quicker, and he maybe could have poked that one in at the back post. What an effort, Cody Drameh. First real chance of the 2nd half for Hull, and that would have surely put this game beyond any doubt. Egan now has to stab that one in the touch under pressure from Cunha. Burmo was trying to say, well, this will extend Hull City's unbeaten run against Manchester United to 3. Goalless at Old Trafford in the year they got relegated from the Premier League, and they actually beat them 2-1 in the 2nd leg of the EFL Cup semi-final that season, albeit losing 3-2 in aggregate. But the last time Manchester United were here, it was a last-minute winner from this man, Marcus Rashford, 18 years old at the time, in August 2016, almost 10 years ago now. A 1-0 win that day, but he plays it back to Fernandes this time, whose ball in is way too deep, and it goes way out over the head of Soulakis for a goal kick. And that has been the story of Manchester United's day so far here on the East Yorkshire coast, as their travelling supporters have not enjoyed their trip across the Pennines, that's for sure. We get a look at the landscape around this stadium here. River Humber just beyond the MKM Stadium. Here's a hit from Giles. Did that come off a hand of Mazraoui? Nothing doing. Plenty of claims from Hull City fans and players there as Ryan Giles hit a shot that was blocked into the gloves of Lamans by Nusir Mazraoui. No hands involved though. Here's Shaw. We'll try and get away from Crooks. Now Rashford on the left. Menu. With Fernandez midway inside the Hull City half. Plays a short pass back to Kobe Menu. Cunha has Miller all over him and Crooks. Mazraoui now though on the edge of the box finds Mbeumo, right corner of the penalty area for Manchester United. Mbeumo on his left foot hits one and well, it whipped in a curl but it wouldn't dip, and it again zips over the bar. And another chance goes a begging here for Manchester United. We're into the last quarter of an hour here. You're listening to live Premier League action, the first Premier League Saturday of the season. It has not been an enjoyable afternoon for Michael Carrick and his side. Look at his coaching staff there. He's got the likes of Jonathan Woodgate, former Manchester United man Johnny Evans there among his coaching staff. Looking rather pensive. That's not a great clearance by Solakis, and Egan just had to do anything to get a touch on that one before Cunha. It's a throw in to United on the left hand side, roughly in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Shaw to Menu. Menu goes back to Heaven. Now Fernandez. Maguire. Right on the right hand touchline for Mbeumo. He'll bring Giles out there with him. Back inside to Mazraoui. Cunha. Back to Mazraoui. Right corner of the penalty area now for the Moroccan. Good challenge by Liam Miller, who will be getting revenge for that World Cup. Of course, Morocco dumping Canada out in the round of 16, 3-0. The co-hosts. Fernandez. Arrows one out on the right hand corner of the penalty. Rashford nods it down. Maguire's in the box there. Can't get a shot away. He's surrounded by a couple of defenders there, one of which is Lucas Harrington. Shaw. Cross blocked up into the air, and there's an offside flag up in there. Not quite sure who against it. It had to be against Shaw. And that's another Manchester United attack that goes for naught here. Well, Konstantinos Solakis will take this one. You look at the stats here. Manchester United out shooting Hull 14-8, albeit Hull have had 4 shots on target. United's 3. United 29 touches in the Hull City box compared to Hull's 10 in the Manchester United box. But the only stat that really matters at the end of the day is that Hull lead 2-0. But here's Mbeumo in on goal. McNair's there with him, and a good save by Solakis. Really good from the Greek goalkeeper. Good defending too from Paddy McNair. Didn't let Brian Mbeumo too far out of his sight, and he couldn't get a clear shot on goal. And in the end, Konstantinos Solakis makes the save. Lovely ball through from Cunha to find Mbeumo, who got away from Giles, but McNair tracking back, forcing Mbeumo a little bit wider. Still a good save though from Hull's debutant goalkeeper Konstantinos Solakis. And Mbeumo himself will come over to take this corner. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from the Cameroon international, signed from Brentford last summer. In it comes from Mbeumo. Deep ball into the back post. Maguire gets up, wins the header. It's knocking about in there. Cunha's up, Heaven's in there, and it's hooked away in the end by Giles. And we'll go out for a Manchester United throw on the right-hand side, midway inside the Hull City half. Good clearance there from Ryan Giles. That was an awkward-looking one there in the middle, bobbling around. But in the end, Hull do enough to get it away. Here's Fernandez now to Mazraoui in the centre circle. Spins one out onto the left-hand side for Shaw. But he decides just to go back inside to Kobe Menu. Fernandez under pressure from Miller, but he gets the pass away to Mazraoui. Miller still buzzing around there, and again, that has been Hull's MO all afternoon. They have not given United space, and the substitutes have clearly got the message as well. But Cunha gets that one away to Mbeumo. Now Heaven. Out under the left-hand corner of the penalty area for Shaw. Shaw scoops one forward. Maguire is still up there. Maguire blocked by Harrington. Out it comes to Shaw. He's got Drame for company. A good challenge there with Cody Drame. That's a throw in to United on the left-hand side in line with the 18-yard box. And in fact, we're going to for the last 2 Manchester United subs here. And the first of those is going to be a straight swap at right full-back. Nusir Mazraoui off. Diogo Dalot on. And we're going to see 19-year-old forward Shea Lacey joining us here for the last 10 minutes or so, as well as Michael Carrick throws on all of his attacking options. He's coming on for Matthias Cunha, who doesn't look overly happy about the situation, but it's been a disappointing day for Cunha, a disappointing day for United all in all, but his race is run after 80 minutes. So those changes for United, it's coming off is Mazraoui and Cunha, and coming on Dalot and Lacey here for the last 10 minutes as Michael Carrick throws the kitchen sink here at Hull City. Still 10 minutes for them to pull something off here, but they have not looked like doing it through the first 80, that's for sure. Heaven now to Maguire, who has been like a forward really for about the last 10 minutes nearly. Plays out left to Mainu. Mainu now for Rashford on the right hand side. Rashford, was a loose pass there from Rashford, and it's picked off here by Miller, who'll go away down the left hand side. Dalot is with him, he's got support coming up here now. Liam Miller has McBurney in the middle, he cuts it back, but Maguire gets in the way there. Liam Miller just breaking away, not really enough support for him. Now Maguire to Mbeumo, goes off a challenge of Slater and finds Lacey. 3 appearances in the Premier League for the 19-year-old forward last year. Good pass finds Shaw, up over halfway come United now. Luke Shaw has Rashford to his left, finds him. Rashford left corner of the penalty, whips in right footed, Sesko was up and it's over the top of everybody, and I don't know if that touched the Hull City defender on the way through. I don't believe it did, and that's a goal kick. But that's where Benjamin Sesko is so dangerous. He can get those balls in, he's great with the ball at his feet, but he's such a big target man too. And that was a really good ball from Rashford, but just over the head of Sesko. In fact, it has been overturned as a corner to United, and Mbeumo takes it, in it comes, headed away in there by McBurney. Giles goes up for it with Mbeumo, and Miller will hack it clear. Long downfield, it's picked up there by Dalot in the centre circle, and United have everybody forward now. Fernandes at quarterback's going to send that one in there. Solakis, really good, he has commanded his penalty so well. He's a big tall goalkeeper, Konstantinos Solakis, and that is meat and drink for him. And if that's what Hull City have to look forward to between the sticks all season long, then they are certainly, that is a big way that they're going to stay up in this division. Hull, who are everybody's predictions to finish stone dead last, everyone predicting the 3 sides coming up of Coventry, Ipswich and Hull to head straight back down again. But Hull showing today what they are made of. They've led 2-0 at half time here against Manchester United, and with 8 minutes to go plus stoppage time, they still lead 2-0. They have worked so hard, they've been so fast, they've been so physical. They have not allowed Manchester United a second on the ball. United have dominated the ball more in this second half, but Hull have been snapping into challenges, and they have not allowed, well, really too many clear-cut chances. As Rashford finds Shaw, and they're back helping out again in the defensive duties for Hull City is Cody Drameh, now cleared away. Maguire beats Miller to that one. It's going to drop for Lacey, hooks one on for Mbeumo, but it's away by Egan, out for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Hull. Diogo Dalot will take it. Dalot to Maguire. Evan. Going to play it out on the left-hand side for Rashford. Rashford going to get the beating of Drameh here. Drameh sticks with him, but Rashford gets to the byline. Dummies, cuts back inside. Drameh tries to throw himself on the ground while Prune comes back to Mainu, blocked up into the air by Crooks. Mainu's going to win the header there above Fulhamish, but it's going to be hammered away by Drameh in the end. And that's going to go all the way back to Senna Lamans, who comes out midway inside his own half to get to that one. Now, United will try and build again. It's Fernandes. So far, they have not offered enough to try and get themselves back into this one. We're played 83.5 minutes here at the MKM Stadium. I'm Mark Strange for Flash Score Official, where it is Hull City 2, Manchester United 0 on Premier League opening weekend. Long one for Fernandes, looking for Dalot, but it's good header one by Giles out there. Dalot, though, will keep it alive. Here's it back to Maguire, who comes to the right-hand corner of the penalty area here now. Harry Maguire cuts inside on his left foot, hits on Maguire, takes a deflection, and another good save by Konstantinos Solakis, who has been a brick wall at the back for Hull City. He's been so confident, and you can see him breathing confidence into his defenders as well. As I say, Hull City showing what they are made of here today. And Solakis sent that one long, but I believe there's only one last change to be made here for Hull City possibly. Darren England looked over to the sideline there. United have used all 5 of theirs. Hull have used 4. And there is our last change here now for Hull City. And it's getting another pair of fresh legs on at the back. And coming off is Ryan Giles, replaced by Matt Targett for his Premier League debut. And signed from Newcastle United. And who spent last season on loan at Middlesbrough and was beaten in the playoff final by Hull City. And now, experienced Premier League left fullback will come on here for the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time, just to get a bit of fresh legs and experience on the pitch for Sergei Yakirovich. McBurney wins the flick on there, but again, nobody in behind him, so Lamans can claim it easily. And now here come United, building from the back. Still, even at this stage, if they were to get one back now, it would be harem-scarum time here on the East Yorkshire coast. Menu. He's right on the right-hand side. Lacey had to double back to get to it, but he keeps it in. Now Dallow. Back to Maguire. Maguire out on the left-hand touchline, right onto the left foot of Luke Shaw, but he's out there with Drame, so it goes back to Menu. Menu, left-footed ball into the back post, and there's Targett, chests it down to Solakis under pressure from Lacey. That's cool as you like there from Matt Targett. And that's exactly what he's brought off the bench to do. Just to be that cool, calm, experienced head. Solakis sends that one long. Is Balumi going to chase this one with Heaven? He is. And Heaven's going to have trouble here, but eventually he skips away from Mohamed Balumi. And now Maguire will come away up the middle for Manchester United. As it stands, goals in the first half from the defenders. Semi Ajayi and Noble Mendy have Hull City 2-0 up. But here's Rashford now on the edge of the box in space. Lays it off from Maguire. Maguire looking for Mbomo, bobbles around in there, and Egan hacks it away. Back out to Shaw now on the left-hand side, around 30 yards from goal. Whips one in right into the midriff of Solakis again, who just falls to the ground with it. He can't take too long over it, but he'll just take a bit of the sting out of this one for Hull as Michael Carrick looks on, pensive, sucking on his teeth there as he stands on the sideline, arms folded. He will not have enjoyed his afternoon here in Hull. McBurney holds off a challenger Rashford and finds Slater. Now here's Targett on the left-hand side. Matt Targett down the line for Liam Miller. He's got Dallow with him there. Liam Miller can't see anybody else in Hull City in the shot. And a good challenge from Dallow anyway will bring it away for United. Fernandez now. Maguire again. He's popping up everywhere, Harry Maguire, but so far hasn't had a chance to really make an impact. Shaw now. Over halfway on the left-hand side. Shaw. One for Rashford to chase. Great tackle. Cody Drame. That is a clean as a whistle, the slide tackle. If you look up a slide tackle in the textbook, there'll be a picture of that from now on. That's superb from the former England under-21 fullback. And that's nice from Slater to flick that one on to McBurney. And now here's Miller on the left touchline, right in front of his manager, who is still out the edge of his penalty area, gesticulating, making sure his side don't clock off for even a second here, otherwise United could punish them. And they're back in possession here in the centre circle with Bruno Fernandes. Sesko lays it off for Mbomo, but a good challenge by Slater. And Targett will go back to Solakis, who sends it forward again first time. Nobody in amber and black up there, but it's from the right end of the pitch for Hull City. Maguire now will try and bring it back up over halfway. Finds Fernandes in the centre circle. Out to Shaw on the left-hand touchline, left corner of the penalty area. Back inside for Rashford. Good challenge that time from Harrington. 18 years old, the Australian defender. Fernandes now. Fernandes thinks about a shot, gets one away, deflected behind corner for United, which he'll hurry over to take himself. They've had a few corners today, United, but none so far that have led to, well, anything at all, really. And they'll be hoping, again, get one now. You just don't know. This is their 7th corner of the afternoon compared to just one for Hull, but that one for Hull produced their opening goal. Fernandes goes short to Shaw. Back for Fernandes, whips it in, and again, Solakis plunges on it at his front post. And another wasted set piece from Manchester United. Fernandes chose to go the short option to Luke Shaw instead of just getting that one in the middle, and by the time he got it in the middle, the ball was poor. And we're now into the final minute of the 90. We'll see very shortly what sort of added time we will have here as Hull City close in on a memorable return to the Premier League and a first league victory over Manchester United since 1974. Menu Well, the last time Hull were in the Premier League, the 2016-17 season, they opened that season with a home win over Leicester City, who of course were champions no less that season. Things of course have gone wrong for Leicester City since then. This will be back-to-back Premier League opening day wins. Lacey's cross is deflected into Sesko, and Crooks just gets a swipe at it away. That was an awkward one there. Shea Lacey's ball into the middle, taking a touch, and Sesko just couldn't bring it down in time to do anything with it, and Menu's pass to Mbermo doesn't connect and will roll all the way through, and Solakis will let it slowly roll over the byline for a goal kick, and that just about sums up Manchester United's afternoon. We're over the 90-minute mark now. What will our fourth official signal here? What is Darren England giving us? 6 added minutes, so still time in this one for Manchester United. I'm sure seeing the 6 up on that board, Hull City are glad that they have at least a 1-goal cushion here. If this was a 1-goal lead now, it would be very nervy indeed. And in fact, United, if they can still push, they still can make it a nervy finish here. But through the 90 normal time minutes, they have not threatened anywhere near enough. But I'm sure the kitchen sink is coming here now at Hull City. Rashford plays one out onto the far side for Lacey, faced up by Target. Back inside he goes to Fernandes. Dallo now in space on the right. Miller is there. He's a great attacking winger, Liam Miller, but goodness me, he'll put in the work in a defensive capacity too. So he's a great man to have out there now for Sergei Yakirovich. Heaven now. Back to Menu, midway inside the Hull City half. They're nowhere near as close to the penalty area as they want to be. Shaw and Burmo continues his run, but it'll go back to Heaven. Now Fernandes. Fernandes thinks about the cross. Bellumi is in the way, so he goes back out to Shaw. Left corner of the penalty area. United cannot get a second to breathe here. Drame is all over Shaw, but Fernandes finds Shaw. Ball in for Sesko, away by Harrington. And that throw-in will be on the left-hand side, midway inside the Manchester United half. Great defending there by Hull City and the clearance by Lucas Harrington. The man of the match award has just gone to Ryan Giles, who was replaced there in 85 minutes by Matt Target, but a great afternoon for Hull's left full-back. And cleared away there by Bellumi before Shaw could get a touch. Menu will go back into his own half to get this one. United desperate now, long for Sesko. Harrington wins the header though. Maguire wins it ahead of Crooks. Now it's back with Heaven. Heaven to Fernandes, has Bellumi pressuring him. Now Heaven again here. Fernandes. Rashford, faced up by Bellumi, but gets the ball in right-footed. Sesko wins the header, up into the air off of Egan, and again catching practice for Konstantinos Solakis. John Egan, well, he was at the start. He had Noble Mendy and Semi Ajayi either side of him. They both scored and have both since been subbed off, but John Egan, he took over the armband when Louis Coyle went off, and he has been a rock at the back, the Irish centre half. That's going to be a throw in now to Hull on the right-hand side on halfway as we approach the 3 minutes through the 6 added on here. We're so close to this one being over here, and Hull City making a memorable return to the Premier League. And now we have a bit of a stoppage here as the Hull City fans remind the Manchester United fans that they are getting mauled by the Tigers. And really, Manchester United, it will be such a disappointing afternoon for them. They have offered so little going forward. They were stunned by those 2 set-piece goals in the first half. They did not do anywhere near enough defensively. It's actually Aidan Heaven who is struggling a little bit here, but deep in stoppage time, United have used all 5 subs, so either we see out the last couple of minutes or United finish this game with 10 men. That's what we're waiting to see here. Heaven just stretching himself out. And indeed, he gets the ball as Hull lose the throw in rather quickly. It's back now with Lamans, though, on the edge of the penalty area. United with all of 80 yards to go. Lamans plays out on the left flank for Shaw. Challenged by Bellumi. Throw into United, but Hull, even this deep into stoppage time, are just still not giving United a second. They're snapping into challenges. They have done from minute 1, and that has helped them to this scoreline. Shaw gets a loose pass from Maguire. Goes back to Heaven, who I don't think really wanted that one. He's looking fairly stiff back there, so he'll roll it on to Fernandes on halfway. Menu in the centre circle. Shaw, even 1 back now for United. You'd imagine there surely won't be enough time for 2, but football has a way of doing funny things. Fernandes over the top. What a header by Harrington above Sesko. And then But Lumi will bring it away. Finds Miller on the left-hand touchline. Oh, Crooks was making the run ahead of him, but easy for me to say from here that you should have found him. And Burmo now. Crunching into the tackle comes Slater. It'll break for Menu. Dallo. Back to his Portuguese international teammate Fernandes. Arrows one to the left-hand side. Maguire wins that one. Back across goal, but he's put far too much on it. And it's out for a goal kick. And with just over a minute of the 6 added on to go, that may well be, I should say, the last chance of the afternoon for Manchester United. What a disastrous afternoon it has been for them. I'm sure there'll be no panic. Manchester United, they had a great end to last season. It's pushed them into the Champions League, but Michael Carrick will not be pleased with what he's seen today. But regardless of that, what about Sergei Yakirovic's side? The MKM Stadium has been in fine voice from minute one this afternoon. Their side have been in fine fettle from minute one. They have been everywhere. They've covered so much ground. They have not given Manchester United a single second here. And now Miller's coming down the right-hand side. He's fouled, and that's a free kick. Oh, no, it's not. He's going to be booked for diving Liam Miller late in the stoppage. He'll not really care, but he has a laugh with Darren England. But it's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things with a booking for the Canadian international. But Hull City have been so good from the off today. And after Arsenal swatted aside newly promoted Coventry last night, Manchester United, maybe many expected them to do the same. They have not done so. They have been physically beaten here today. Hull City have been superb from the off, and there's another catch from Solakis. That might well be the last play of the game here, and what a way to finish it. He has been superb between the sticks, but Hull City, to a man, 1 to 11 plus every sub today, have been absolutely superb, and Darren England blows the whistle on a famous afternoon on Humberside as Hull City beat Manchester United for the first time since 1974. 2 first-half goals on the defenders. First, Sammy Ajayi, he slammed one home from his 4 yards after Ollie McBurney's effort was well saved by Senna Lamans. And then just before half-time, Noble Mendy on debut, glancing home a superb free-kick delivery by Regan Slater. That put Hull 2-0 up at half-time. You thought United would come back in this one. They brought Marcus Rashford on at half-time. Michael Carrick emptied his bench of all his attacking options, but Hull City kept them at bay. They have thoroughly deserved this 3 points this afternoon. Sergei Yakirovic on his first Premier League game as a manager, the first Bosnian to ever manage in the Premier League, makes history with a victory here today. And what a start to the season for Hull City. Tipped by many to go straight back down. They have sent a message this afternoon. I've been Mark Strange, live from Flashscore Official at the MKM Stadium, where it's finished Hull City 2, Manchester United 0.